Okay, so it's time to look at the Big Trouble guitar solo, and it starts off with this awesome intro lick. So we start with a bend on the 12th fret on the B string, and then we dive the bar and release the bend at the same time. And then from that, when we bring the slack back up on the bar, we descend with hammer-ons from nowhere down a C sharp minor pentatonic scale from the B string. So 12, 9, then 11, 9 on the G, same again on the D, and then here we do a very quick gliss slide from the 11 down to 9 on the A. So you can practice just like doing a hammer-on into that first one whilst doing a scoop. So that whole lick again slowly. That leads us to the next lick, which goes like this. So this starts with these two kind of preliminary notes, which is a long word for me, and that is 7 and 9 on the A. And then we're going to move into this arpeggio, which is kind of based around some fifths. So that is 4th fret on the A and 6th fret on the D. Then I shift position and play 6 on the G and 9 on the B. And then we get to the high E string. Do a pull off from 11 to 7, and then re-pick 7. And he gets a slight harmonic on this on the recording and a little bit of feedback, which is lovely. So let me just play that again slowly. Then we move on to the next lick, which comes up here on the high E string, and basically it's the most simple lick ever. We're just doing some pull-offs between starting on the 18th fret off to the 16th fret, but to make it interesting, we're getting the whammy bar and we're shaking it. Like so, in a sort of vocal-like fashion. As again, to really explain that, just listen and listen and listen to the solo, get the feeling of that in there. But that's all there really is to it in terms of notes. Then it moves into this next lick, which is a fast picking run, another classic Vi picking lick. So this lick is built up of some main segments. We start with the E string and we have this phrase. So it's a classic group of 6. Okay, so we have 19 off to 16, then 18, 19, then all the way back down. And then we go to the B string and we play this pattern. So on the B string we have 19, 17 and 16, and basically we descend down this pattern and back up, back down and up halfway. So technically we have 9 notes in that lick. Let's put that together, the first part. Then we move to the next segment, which is this. A group of 5 using the frets 14, 16 and 17. And then we're going to go to the G string and play this. This is a group of 7 on the G string, which is going to go frets 16, 15 and 13. And then we go to the D string and play 16 and 14. All together slowly. Now, even though I'm talking about groupings, I'm not talking about literal groups of 5 and 7 in a beat. It's just those groupings of notes within the 3-note string fragments. And this lick is actually played as 16th notes really evenly. So Really helps to be quite light on the pick there as well. So practice that slowly and keep on going. Next riff goes like this. So we bend the 17th fret on the B string up a tone and then tap the 19th fret. And then we release straight back to the 17th fret on the B string. Then we tap again and then pull off to 16, tap again, and then off to 14. So you have these 3 frets there, 17, 16 and 14. At this point you slide down to the 4th fret and pull off to the 2nd fret. So you should have this. Then we bend on the 4th fret G string. So we bend up on the G string, 4th fret, and we tap 16 and then pull off 4 to 1 on the G. Then we tap 16 and pull off to 4 and then 2 on the D. And then you tap 16 on the A and then off to 4 on the A. And you bend it up a tone. So that section all together slowly. So let's just put that all together. And that takes us into the next phrase, which sounds like this. So this is perhaps one of Steve's strangest licks on the album. Basically, we have this melody. So we have 17, 16 and 14 on the B string, double 16 back to 14, then back up and down. So then we have 16 and 13 on the G, and then there's several things that have been assumed to have happened here. Now sometimes people say that he held the 17th fret on the G string and then he pulled the bar so far up that the guitar fretted out. Now something of an observation, obviously I'm playing a 24 fret via signature guitar, but at the time he was playing a Charvel with only 22 frets. And whatever guitar you have, it might be different where that point of fret out happens. Now, in order to sort of get around this issue for performance myself, I decided to take the B string at the 17th fret and bend it off the fretboard, so you get that sound, and then pull up on the bar. It takes a little bit of experimentation, and I encourage you to find the best way of emulating that sound yourself using similar techniques. Another important part of this lick is the fact that the bar is being bounced upon whilst he's playing those first preliminary legato notes. So you can do it that way, or you might notice I was doing it backwards on the bar, which I think would be a very Alan Holdsworth style inspiration there. We can see Alan Holdsworth doing a very similar thing. So just some food for thought on that lick. Hopefully that gets you close to creating that sound on the solo. Now, next, fortunately and unfortunately, we have the monstrous tapping lick, which takes us through the rest of this guitar solo. Now, I'm going to break this down into 6 or 7 sections. My advice is to practice each section by itself. As a disclaimer, it's taken me at least 2 weekends of 6-hour days to even be able to memorize this myself. So I encourage you to find whichever way works for you, but we'll break it down into these sections and I think it will help. So the first part goes like this. So we start up here on the E string. We're going to play 16, 17 and 19, then tap 21 and pull off all the way back down to 16. Then we're going to hammer on with the little finger on the 19th fret and then tap 21. So you should have this. So once you've tapped 21, you pull off now to 19, 17 and 16. It's here where we make a position shift slide to the 14th fret on the B string. And we hammer on from that 14th fret onto the 16th fret and then tap on the 21. So after that you tap on 20 and pull off to 14. That's the first phrase, okay? So I'd encourage you to go back over this a few times, take it note by note, and write it down if you need to as well. That'll really help with the learning process. So that's the first section. The second section comes immediately out of that and sounds like this. Okay, so we tap on 19, pull off to 16 and 14 on the E string. Same on the B string. On the G, we're going to do a similar pattern, but we're tapping on 18 this time. So then on the D string, we're going to go, that is 18 tapped, pull off to 16. Okay, so that's the first kind of half of this second section. Then we skip over to the B string and play the exact same frets as we played there previously in this section. And then we tap 18, pull off to 16 on the G. So far I should have this. And then over to the high E string to finish off, and just those same frets from the start, 19, 16, 14. And then tap 19 on the B string. Okay, so one more time slowly. Now you might notice there I just pulled off to 14, that's where the next phrase starts. So the next phrase goes like this. I'm going to start the previous tapped note from the second section just to get us in there. So you've started with a tap note from the last note of the previous section, and we pull off to 16 and 14 on the B. Slide down, position shift to 12th fret, and we're going to hammer on 14 and tap 16. So then we tap 16, pull off to 14 on the G. Then we skip over to the top E string, play 16, 14, 12. That's tapping on 16. And then B string, same frets. But then we slide down to 10 straight after. So far we should have this. And then we tap again on 16 and then pull off to 12 and then 10. But this time we slide down to 9, which then becomes the first note of the fourth section. So let's take a look at that. So this next section, we've just come out from that slide that we've just played. The slide will have already happened to the 9th fret. We hammer on 10, 12, tap on 14. And then we move to the G string 14th fret and we pull off to 11, 9 and 8 on the G. And we do a roll all the way from the top note back down to the top note. And finishing on the 8th fret. So far I should have this from the 9th fret slide out. And then we go to the D string and we tap 14, pull off to 11 and pull off to 7. That last bit there kind of transitions into the next section. Let me just play that one more time slowly. Now the next section comes straight out of that and goes like this. So you've just played on the D string in section 4 this pull off between 14, 11 and 7. Hammer on 9, tap 14, and then pull off 11, 9, 7 on the D. So then we're going to go to the A string and tap 14, pull off to 11, pull off to 7. So from the previous lick, that leads us into the next section. This is that fives pattern that we came across in Shy Boy and in Elephant Gun. So if you practice those songs, this should feel fairly familiar, but if not, here's the pattern. So on the A string, we're tapping 14, pull off to 9. Then we're doing a tap on G, 14, pull off to 9 and 6. So that's our pattern of 5. Then we're doing that same idea on the next set of strings. So that's tap 14, pull off to 9 on the D, then tap 14 on the B string, pull off to 9 and 7 on the B string. So then the final section of this section is 14 tapped on the G, off to 9, and then 14 pull off to 9 and 7 on the E. So all together. And that was the last bit. Then we move to the next section, which goes like this. So we tap 14, pull off to 9 and 7 on the B. Then we slide down after that 7th fret down to the 5th fret. Then we re-tap on 14 and we reposition our left hand. So we're doing a roll now, so we're going to go tap. We go from the tap note on 14, pull off to 7, 5, 4, back up, tap, back down. So then you tap 14, pull off to 6, then 4, and slide down to 2. So that section one more time. And then we have the final section of this monstrous tapping lick, which goes like this. Which is a lot simpler than the rest of it. Basically, it's 14 on the D and then pull off to 4 on the D. So it's that fives pattern again. And then B string, tap on 14, pull off to 4 and 2. Then the same exact pattern on the G and B string. Now from here on out, we just play 14, 4, 2 on each string all the way down. So together slowly. And we dive out of that into that middle section B chord. And that takes us to the end of that tapping run. Now, disclaimer, I'd practice that slowly in sections and then slowly build up. If you listen to the recording and slow it down and stuff, you can hear that Vi he's written sections of it, but he's just going for it, and it's just a great recording of someone just being inspired in the moment and creating a really cool tapping run. There's lots of cool nuggets of wisdom to be taken out of this particular lick. Let's hear it all together one more time, played back to back. And then that'll be everything for this section. Awesome. See you in the next song.